building materials you sent to me. The price of the iron rods have been increased too much, aren't they?
Madam, relax. Look, that's not why I did call you. I just visited IPCP, where the engineers told me everything about Trasacco Fast Floor.
Trahuanko, please, those people are expensive. Are they not the people building those big houses in town? I bet going to
Madam, in fact, I used to think the same until I visited their office today, and they gave me an estimate of how much it will cost. No, the estimate is real. It's cheaper than the one I even sent you.
Wow.
Building contractors, foremen, masons. Visit IPCP, the Trasacco Fast Floor. Engineers will assist you build an affordable, faster and stronger building.
Oh, madam. It is done.
Wow.
Trasacco Fast Floor. Stronger, faster and affordable.
This is a Trasacco
Now, coming up in this afternoon's bulletin, KT Hammond wades into Asin North MP's injunction brouhaha once of legislative doom. A Transport Committee of Parliament accuses Ministry of Transport for undue diligence in Magdan's case. "17 arrested over narcotics in the Volta region." Good afternoon and welcome to Pan-African Television News. My name is Ivy Abnadide Nakite. We have details of these stories and many more coming up in the next 30 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for choosing to stay with us. If you just tuned in, you are watching Pan-African Television News. Anchoring the news is me, Ivy Abnadide Nakite, 48 Swanika Street, Belimpe, Accra, Ghana. We're streaming live on Facebook at Pan-African Television, the news in detail. Member of Parliament for Asokwa, Kwabena Tahir Mohammed, has waded into the controversy concerning the embattled legislator for Asin North constituency, who is being investigated for alleged perjury and forgery. Now, addressing the media, he further opined that the exceedingly worrying issue could spell doom if not handled with fact and meticulousness.
You see, nobody disputes that we are struggling to get our numbers. It's obvious.
But that's a leadership failure on the NPP.
Nonsense. That's the issue. The consequence of the election we had the last time is this, that it's going to be tight. 138, 137. When you have a speaker who is regular, life is comfortable. You don't have a speaker who is regular for unavoidable reasons, and I don't say that in a personal criticism of him. It becomes difficult. You got to get one of your deputies to sit. They are again crying foul. Well, speaker sits, deputy speaker sits. He can't do A, B, C, D. It makes life difficult. So we all accept that yes, because of our numbers, we have difficulties. But who in their right frame of mind would suggest that for that reason, a government of the day would want to arrest members of parliament? Well, we practice democracy in Ghana. If whatever his name is that you talk about is faced with the consequences you're talking about, he is hoisted by his own petard. On the 9th of the 7th, or what is 6th, the 9th or 7th or whatever, when this thing came about, I mean, the voting and all that, when this matter had come about because of the alleged citizenship, double Canadian, whatever that they talked about, I personally called former Deputy Attorney General, Dominic Aini, and spoke with him about it. I told Dominic to warn our brother from Ase, whatever. That if what you are talking about is true, you should leave for God's sake. Because the provisions of, I think, Article 105 of the Constitution, pretty clear, crystal clear, beyond argument. Leave the place. If that wasn't bad enough, we had a president of our late brother Ademu Sekendi, who had gone through the same processes. In the end, he was disqualified, and it didn't end at that. He was prosecuted and incarcerated. I was afraid. My heart was bleeding for him. I sent Dominic to go and speak with him. Well, in the circumstances, when they were clear in their mind, they had numbers to elect Babi as their speaker, they were prepared to wheel whoever, irrespective of their qualification. Indeed, I venture to say that, listen, don't let this guy applaud you from high hell to whatever, because in the end, when you go to prison, they will even take you off, see you off to his home gate. You'll be going all alone. So who now comes out and has the brazen neck to suggest that the government ploy to reduce their numbers? That is why the action, whatever action is being taken against
the matter is before court.
Those are different matters. Those are different matters. Then legal matters. I mean, we will deal with
the prosecution before the determination of the appeals court.
No, you got a point there, but that's not what we are dealing with. We're dealing with the issue of the suggestion that you made that all this has come about because government wants to reduce their numbers by
one whole year.
Because
the has been lying low.
It hasn't been lying fallow. No, it hasn't. You know,
the MP voted to approve the 2022 budget.
But you are not following the point that we're making. I mean, we expressed this fear that I've just expressed.
Right.
I mean, we did it on the 9th of whatever. I've explained all of that. He should have taken heed. They went through the processes to vindicate himself. If in the process it was the fact that all the allegations were bogus, so be it. We would all have applauded for him. In the end, the first court seems to be saying that, no, my friend, you are disqualified. He's gone through some processes. I don't know where it ended. I'm told that they went to the Supreme Court and whatever. And so you have a point. If your case is that the government is pursuing him when he hasn't exhausted all his legal process, it's an entirely different matter. But what gets my back up is any suggestion that the government intends to do that because they want to reduce the NDC numbers by one.
But you just admitted that if he hasn't gone through all the court processes, you cannot commence prosecution, criminal prosecution.
But you see, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. You should find out more from the Attorney General and those involved with this. I'm not sure you do know the state of affairs. I don't claim to know. I'm serious. I don't claim to know that. I've read the Canadian Citizenship Act, I think of 2000 or whatever. The 2000. I've read it. I have no doubt at all in my mind about all in the end what this thing will come up to. I've read that one. What I do not know, speaking to you this afternoon, is whether he's gone through all of it. Attorney General is a brilliant lawyer. He must have known where this whole thing has come up to. I'm aware that they appealed, they filed all sorts of processes. I do not believe that a lawyer of that man's caliber would want to truncate the legal process by starting new processes, criminal processes against him. That I have difficulties with. So let us all clarify the situation, find out where exactly we are with the legal processes with respect to this guy. But you see, I wouldn't cry about whatever happens to him because we warned him from day one that he was playing with the big inflammable fire.
The Minority Caucus of Parliament has condemned moves by the governing New Patriotic Party at the Supreme Court to commence injunction proceedings against the Member of Parliament for Ase North constituency, James Jachi Quaitson, to prevent him from performing his duties as a legislator. This follows an earlier decision by the Cape Coast High Court to annul his election as Member of Parliament due to qualification issues.
We believe, upon the instructions of the President and the Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Godfrey Dami, the police administration called one of the lawyers who represented Honorable James Quaitson in respect of the Ase North parliamentary election petition, inviting him to make the Honorable Quaitson available for service of a criminal charge on him for prosecution. We all know what is it the 1992 Constitution provides for service to members of Parliament for purpose of civil or criminal proceedings? That also has been ignored and disrespected. Inviting him to make the Honorable question available for service, as I've indicated, our information indicates that the said charge borders on an allegation that Honorable Question committed a crime by signing a declaration to the Electoral Commission to the effect that he was qualified to stand for election as an MP. It must be placed on record that the legal propriety of the said declaration made by the Honorable James Question was challenged at the time he submitted same to the Electoral Commission, whereupon the Electoral Commission invited Honorable James Question and his detractors for an investigation of the said complaint. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, be interested in what I'm coming to say next. There was a complaint on a matter of his eligibility. Electoral Commission subsequently determined the matter in favor of Honorable James Question after he had adduced sufficient evidence to satisfy the Electoral Commission that he was very much qualified to stand for election, whereupon he was cleared to contest the elections. So these are facts, verifiable facts. In the light of this fact, how can it be properly contended that Honorable James Question criminally used a false declaration? Criminally used a false declaration. A declaration determined by the institution established for that purpose, which made a determination on that matter favorable to him, to deceive the Electoral Commission in order to stand for the said election. Secondly, without prejudice, the issue of whether or not per Article 94(2)(a) of the 1992 Constitution, I believe that is what is before our competent courts, whether Honorable James Question was qualified to stand as an MP, is a question of law, which is pending before the Court of Appeal. And by all standards, it stands next to the Supreme Court in terms of judicial hierarchical authority and mandate. Before the Court of Appeal, KEPCOs, as well as the Supreme Court, in various suits, also an application for stay of execution of the KEPCOs High Court's annulment as sin of parliamentary election filed by Honorable Question is still pending before the Court of Appeal. Under the circumstances, the lawful and reasonable thing for the Ghana Police, the ruling New Patriotic Party government, and their surrogates.
You're still watching Pan-African Television News with me, Ivy Abnandite Nakite. We go for a quick break. When we're back, the news continue.
Trasacco Estates, home to Accra's most beautiful and luxurious homes, presents its newest addition, Trasacco Springs, a premium master planned community of service plots surrounded by an exhaustive list of amenities. The gated community of Tema to Accra Motorway presents you the finest opportunity to own a land that suits your preferred size, budget, and payment terms. Trasacco Springs is open to you for development. Our on-site sales executives are ready. Call on 055 659 2658.
African Center for Capacity Building, AFCAP, organizes the following executive and advanced certificate programs like Executive Certificate in Project Management, Executive Certificate in Human Resource Management, Executive Certificate in Real Estate and Property Management, Executive Certificate in Data and Records Keeping, Executive Certificate in Monitoring and Evaluation, Executive Certificate in Logistics and Transport Management, Executive Certificate in CCTV Monitoring and Installation. AFCAP where capacity building is our priority. For registration and enquiries, please call 0244 405047, 0242 135523. We have our branches in Accra, Tamale, Kumasi, and Wa. Saturdays and weekdays sessions are available. Admission is still in progress. Enroll now. Join the African professionals. AFCAP, where capacity building is our priority.
Now, thank you for staying. You're still watching Pan-African Television News. My name is Ivy Abnadide Nakite. Now, still on our local front, ranking member on the Transport Committee of Parliament, Gavins Agboza, has accused the Ministry of Transport for failing to do due diligence in awarding a leasing contract to Magdan Company Limited to run private jet services at the Terminal 1 section of Ikotoka International Airport. Now, the ranking member on the committee and a member of parliament for Adaklu constituency says it has already met officials of the Ministry of Transport and the Ghana Airport Company as part of ongoing investigations into the shutting down of the facility.
So far, we don't have any evidence that in the past the ministry or its agencies ever raised an issue of breach on the behalf of Magdan, which led to an admonishment or a sanction or punishment. That is why we feel that if you claim somebody has been breaching your orders for almost 3 years, how come you never took any decision to punish or to let the public know that so? Because you are still the landlord. If anybody rents your house and you have an agreement that for you to change the ceiling or to change the sanitary ware, you should let me know. And you come to the house and the person has stripped off the ceiling, you should use clauses in your tenancy agreement to sanction. Either you say that I'll use your deposit to fix it back or I'm sacking you. Since the ministry has never been able to prove that they carried out anything like that, we are suspicious that something different happened on that 31st, and it couldn't have been that Magdan per se was breaching any of their rules. And that is why we are saying that there could be issues beyond this, because on the face value of these papers, nothing here suggests that Magdan in the past failed to do things that led to an admonishment or anything. It's not apparent in any of the documentation. By the way, the ministry did not provide a single document when they came to the committee. The minister made us aware that appropriate sanctions would be meted out after further investigations. And we know that we want to know exactly what kind of sanctions are going to be meted out.
The Volta Regional Police Command has arrested 17 suspects with narcotic substances in separate operations conducted across the region. Now, according to the police report, all the suspects will be screened and those found culpable after investigation will be put before court.
2022, 13 suspects were arrested in an hour operation at Japon. Upon intelligence, police retrieved quantities of dried leaves, slabs of compressed dry leaves, quantities of cocaine, and other implements such as pairs of scissors, folding paper, and brown paper. 5 assorted motorbikes abandoned at the ghettos were also impounded. 3 suspects, including a woman, were on February 2, 2022, arrested by the Joja District Police in a similar exercise, and quantities of narcotic substances were also retrieved. The operation was led by DSP Christian Dogbache, the Joje District Police Commander. In all, 281 wraps of substances suspected to be Indian hemp and assorted narcotics-induced preparations, 622 pieces of toffee, bitters, and other implements used in processing narcotic substances, rolling paper, pairs of scissors, brown paper, and lighters were retrieved from the suspects. At the Abutiakope beach at Keta, a 59-year-old male suspect is in police custody after his attempt to escape arrest failed when they were swooped on. His accomplices managed to escape in a fishing boat at the Abutiakope beach, abandoning 2 sacks of narcotic substances and a Pajero SUV. Meanwhile, the Keta District Command is following other leads to get those who escaped arrested.
It's business.
Trasacco Estates, home to Accra's most beautiful and luxurious homes, presents its newest addition, Trasacco Springs, a premium master planned community of service plots surrounded by an exhaustive list of amenities. The gated community of Tema to Accra Motorway presents you the finest opportunity to own a land that suits your preferred size, budget, and payment terms. Trasacco Springs is open to you for development. Our on-site sales executives are ready. Call on 055 659 2658.
African Center for Capacity Building, AFCA, organizes the following executive and advanced certificate programs like Executive Certificate in Project Management, Executive Certificate in Human Resource Management, Executive Certificate in Real Estate and Property Management, Executive Certificate in Data and Records Keeping, Executive Certificate in Monitoring and Evaluation, Executive Certificate in Logistics and Transport Management, Executive Certificate in CCTV Monitoring and Installation. AFCA, where capacity building is our priority. For registration and enquiries, please call 0244 405047, 0242135533. We have our branches in Accra, Tamale, Kumasi, and Wa. Saturdays and weekdays sessions are available. Admission is still in progress. Enroll now. Join the African professionals. AFCA, where capacity building is our priority.
Welcome to the business segment of the news. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has urged African leaders to guard against the continuing consequential power of rating agencies on the African economies. Now, the credit ratings by these rating agencies he described has affected the cost of borrowing and access to the international capital markets.
Speaking at the African Union meeting in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, President Akufo-Addo charged African leaders to help reform the global financial architecture. President Akufo-Addo continued that the IMF should not be the sole beneficiary of such rechanneling, noting he believes that our own continental institutions, such as the African Development Bank and Afrexim Bank, should be recipients of the recycling of these SDRs. Hence, Finance Minister and the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, UNICA, have advocated for the use of regional development agencies to be included in this rechanneling. He also told the Assembly that Africa finance ministers with UNICA have consistently championed the allocation of SDRs to capitalize AFDB and Afrexim Bank to help establish an African stability mechanism and to initiate a liquidity support facility. The President of the Republic of Ghana advanced his argument that African leaders need to work collectively as the African Union to reform the global financial architecture, even if they build and strengthen the financial institution. This, the President believes, will address the financial challenges of some African countries. According to the President, the major challenges towards the establishment of the AUFIs include the slow rate of signature and ratification of the legal instruments and the limited capacity of member states to finance the establishment of the AUFIs. Regrettably, none of the AUFIs has reached the minimum number of ratifications required for the enabling legal instruments to enter into force and thereby facilitate their substantive establishment.
Well, that's all for this afternoon's Pan-African Television News with me, Ivy Abnadide Nakite. Before we go, a recap of our headlines. K.T. Hammond waiting to ascend of MP's injunction Buhaha warns of legislative doom. A Transport Committee of Parliament accuses Ministry of Transport for undue diligence in Magda's case. 17 arrested over narcotics in the Volta region. We brought you details of this story and many more live from our studios here, 48 Wanika Street, Belimpe, Accra, Ghana. Join us this evening, 6:30 p.m. on Newsbreak for more news update. Follow us on all social media platforms on Facebook at Pan-African Television, on Instagram at Pan-African Television, and on Twitter at Pan-African Television. My name is Ivy Abnadide Nakite. Do have a lovely afternoon.